Hi guys, my name is Nia Shong and I'm joined in the studio today by
Jojo,
and conspicuously absent is
MFA.
a certain lady called MFA and we don't know where she is, but we're going to be talking about how we got here today. So you're welcome to our second episode of How Did We Get Here?
How did we get here?
And today we're going to actually talk about how we got here.
Okay.
So Jojo, how did you get here?
How did I get here today? So first I walked to my office and then I took a bus or a trotro, depending on which one works for you.
No spice it was a trotro.
A bus, matatu, whatever works for you. And then I walked a little bit more. I took another trotro and then I walked
Two trotros.
the last few.
So two walkings and two trotros. Okay, so I walked and I drove, and then I walked and I'm here. And today we're going to be talking about land transportation.
Land transportation.
Only land transportation.
Yes, strictly land.
And in another episode, we'll talk about other forms of transportation.
Yes.
So, Jojo, what do you think is the... Or for them, ask this one first. What's your favorite form of transportation?
Personally, I have two, but the first one is walking. And it's not because I don't have a car yet.
Broken
But-
talking.
I actually enjoy walking. Like, I can actually just say, oh, I'm walking here today, and I'll be on my turn. It really works for me. Second one is driving, because I like, generally, I'm slow in
I
life.
don't know had an accident last year.
That's not the point. But generally, I'm slow in life. But when I'm in the car, I really like to move fast.
So that's why you had the accident.
So that was not why. That's a different problem. But that's not what we are talking about today.
Your
But
accidents.
no, but I have an interesting fact about accidents. Which is that,
Jojo had one last year.
and aside that, when there were only two cars in the world, they managed to have an accident
They didn't start on good terms.
at all.
I think my favorite transportation mode is the bike.
Bicycle.
Yeah, and bicycle. I really like riding bicycles.
Wow.
I like riding my bicycles. Yeah, I think it's one of the few things I love.
Wow. It's a very short list.
Yeah, it's a
Things
short
that you
list, and bicycles
A
are
wife, God, friends.
You may not have got the order right, but yeah. I really like bicycles. Okay, so let's get down to business.
All right. So,
Tell us about the first land transportation modality.
okay. So the first mode of transport, which is actually still the most popular mode of transport, is the foot. 81 foot.
Also known as
Allegedis Benz.
also known as
AD11.
also known as
Not
Lexus.
here. Lexus.
yes, also known as
Not here.
nah. That's just tree.
But
Also
they-
known as
they-
some people would say 10 toes.
Tend to, okay.
Yes.
I'm going to
So
say
I think
trekking. We'll say stepping.
stepping, yes.
I'm going to say I'm legging it.
It's famous. Everybody does it.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know
that's
what?
not sensitive. Some people do.
One time, I was with my friend and we're trying to dream of how rich we would be one day. And one of our main goals was that, no, we have to stop walking. So our day would start on a massive bed and we'll take a tree ride to our back.
How old are you? How old are you when you
We're
had this?
like 10. We're like, no, when we are rich, we'll stop walking. So we have to eliminate every form of walking in our life to show that we've made it. But it just goes to show that no matter how rich you are, you walk.
You walk.
Even to pee, to whatever you walk. Yeah, but then we went from the human foot to using animals to move.
I want to rewind.
Okay.
I think we should talk about shoes.
All right.
That's it.
That's a good
Because I feel like people were able to walk a certain distance and your world was limited, you know. I've heard people say that Jesus only traveled like 200
miles from home.
It was miles, not kilometers, yes. And
we know the song.
and that was because that is true. And that was because there were no it was more of legging
Yeah.
or trekking. Yes. And then shoes came in, which would allow you to walk a little further. Because
A little more comfort today.
yeah, they protect the
feet.
feet and all. I think you're telling me earlier that you could furthest you could walk reasonably was like 14.
Even with shoes. Like
even with shoes, like 14 kilometers.
14 kilometers. That's a good day's.
So you have like a very small world, you know. And
Very
then from
true.
shoes, we
went to using animals, and it's because God put them in a garden and said that we should like use them. Everything was there for our usage. So
and somebody was there
and said,
I can jump on the back of this cow.
it's bigger than me. It can move. We can move
We
together.
can move together. So they started sitting on animals.
Yeah, and you know, people have sat on. I mean, generally, think of sitting on animals. We mostly think about horses.
Yeah.
I know people have sat on all sorts of animals,
Like
elephants.
where did they do that?
India.
Like camels.
Camels. That's for the Arabs and wherever there's deserts. Then llamas.
Yes.
Yeah, in Southern America, even cows in India too. They
Yes.
sit on the cow head sits on the cow.
But that's brave.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Like cows are temperamental.
oh, they are in control. The Indians are in control.
And then horses,
donkeys,
mules,
mules,
which are half caste donkey, of course.
Which can never. I think
I'm not insulting anybody. You. And
dolphins more of Avatar.
I did a dolphin, and that's what.
No, even goats. People could put their little children on big goats, like big. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, if the goat was big enough, you can carry.
No, but goats are very unreliable.
I mean, it's a child. You can go around the pen and come back.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean.
And like bulls, I think.
Bulls, yes. That's what I meant by the Indian sitting
on cows and figs. Yeah. So yeah, we had animal transport, and I think that allowed people to go a bit further. Yeah, like 20 kilometers or more.
And then
the animal is tired.
Is it?
And then the animal is tired.
You have to feed it and things. It's just a problem if someone wasn't over feeding our transportation method. You have to buy fuel, charge it.
It always costs you something.
Yeah. Then around 6,000 BC, we discovered the wheel. Yeah,
wouldn't you say we invented the wheel? I don't think the wheel was a discovery.
I think it was. I think one day someone saw an orange moving very fast downhill and thought that, okay, if it's circular, it goes quite fast.
I don't think that. No, I don't think that flies.
Oh no, I think that because I mean, why else would you decide that? Let's cut it in a circle. I mean, they must have seen a circle moving fast. Maybe it was like a boulder, a stone
rolling down. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so we invented the wheel, and that brings us back to the famous saying, "Do not reinvent the wheel," because I mean, it's changed a lot of things
drastically.
People realized that if your pig is rolling, there's less friction.
Yes.
So you can.
I don't think they knew friction, but
I mean, it goes easier. Yeah. Then you put something on top of the to put an axle. Then they can go.
You know, for a long time, even most cars did not have axles until axles were discovered. Like the prehistoric time, the stone, most of them didn't have axles. So it's like in this direction, then we are going. If you wanted to go slight deviations to the left, you have to.
Then another person had a bright idea. Okay, I can let an animal push the wheel.
Wow.
So then we had the horse and the cats, or the donkey and the cats, the mule and the cats. But I don't know if camels pull cats. I don't know.
I don't think they do. Yeah, I'm a bit proud for that.
Yeah. I mean, and these things sort of spread across the world. So
yes. I don't think they spread. I think they were location peculiar.
No, sorry, I meant the concept of animal and the wheel.
Okay, animal and the wheel moving together. But or even human beings and the wheel.
I mean, if that's slaves, why not?
I mean, like, for a long time, rickshaws were a big thing in China, even after human.
Even now, in some countries, rickshaws are a big thing. I've forgotten where somebody went to and sent me a picture of them sitting in a rickshaw and the person pulling it. And I felt like you would not have minded being a slave owner. You can on a rickshaw and have someone pull you. I just feel like you have the temperament of a slave owner.
But you know, I forget the 6,000 BC was wrong. 6,000 BC was the invention of something else. Guess what it is?
How many guesses do I have?
I have 3.
With that money inside.
At all.
Then I'll get it wrong.
We don't have enough viewers here.
Oh, okay. I think of the image of the skis.
Skis, very good. Human beings learned how to ski, and again, it was location peculiar because
we don't ski here.
We couldn't ski here. Yeah, we don't ski. No, so moving. I mean, global warming might just work for us.
The spot.
Yeah. So the skiing and moving at breakneck.
So that allowed people to move faster on
snow.
Yeah.
And I'm sure skis came with snowshoes because
snowshoes also allow you to walk faster because they have a broad base. They don't sink as much. It can also help us in our mud, by the way.
Mud shoes.
Yeah.
It's waiting for us to exploit it.
Yeah, because the rainy season is wild. And where I live, it's not easy like that.
Even though they are doing your bridge for it.
So we're zooming home. Anyway, so we had the animal carriages, and where did we go from there?
So for a long time, that was literally all we had. You'd be surprised. And human beings loved those along with the animal population. In fact, the Romans this was like, the wheel was invented around 4000 BC.
That's 4,000 years
Yes,
before Christ.
before Christ. And then the Roman Empire started in, I think, around it was about 1,000 years. And we ended around 467 AD. So in those 1,000 years, the Romans were the first group of people to actually build clear roads. Because I think all we have is like footpaths
And trails.
trails.
I mean, the trails sort of happened because as
Yes.
people go, like what we still have it in
Yeah.
Ghana.
Predominant.
These people walk around and the trails formed
Very through people's foundation.
Yeah, so that's how the Romans started.
Yeah. And they built roads all across where they occupied. Very good roads, very good roads. I mean, there are still parts of the world where you find evidence of the Roman road. But you'll be surprised that when the Roman Empire died, for 1,000 years, no one decided to do any more roads. And all the roads fell. Yeah, which was surprising because, I mean, I remember you mentioned before that human beings are not really pushed to create new things. They are just, like, until there's like a great need to be done.
Yeah.
So all those and all goods and things were moving by ship. Everything could go on the water. And I mean, why not? We have more water than land, so why not the water?
Yeah.
So
So how do we, I mean, let's talk a bit, maybe let's also talk about trains.
okay. So trains.
Would you say trains are older or younger than roads? Or better still, let us differentiate between rail transport and road transport.
So I think that getting towards the 18th century, people started working on creating engines, and one of the first ones was like the people came up with the rails, like steam engines, and they decided that for the steam engine to move faster, they need to put a certain type of track for it.
I mean, I feel like the idea of trains even preceded that because there's evidence of like vehicles with wheels on tracks.
Okay.
Yeah, from ancient
the mines and things.
Yeah, even ancient civilizations.
Okay,
I will say ancient is Egypt, and I'm sure
ancients the Aztecs, the
somebody
Southern Americans,
maybe them. Yeah, so there's history of that. So
what's
the idea,
El Dorado there.
So the idea of trains was also long, but then you speak of the steam engine that allowed us to now have powered trains. Yeah,
you know, there's this. If you read Terry Pratchett, do you know Terry Pratchett?
No.
Very great author. He writes in a satirical way.
Tell me what he wrote.
The Discworld.
Okay, no, I still don't know.
It's satirical, and he talks about how, I mean, there's an a different world, and people talk about one of the books about how someone created the first engine and called harnessing steam. Just the expression that's managed to tame steam.
Yeah,
because the idea of a steam engine in the book describes that the person's father saw a kettle boiling, and it's like the kettle keeps going. I was like, what if I can harness this power? Yeah, and then
I mean, which is what it is basically.
So the father started, and then it blew up, and he died. But the son managed, despite his mother's wishes, managed to create the first.
But that's so sad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had the first trains in, I think, in the 19th century.
Okay.
Yeah. I think maybe around 1860 thereabouts. Fact checker, please.
Have mercy.
Have mercy on us. Over to you. Yeah.
But I mean, sorry. I brought up train, but I want to bring up my favorite mode of transport again.
Okay.
Bicycle.
All right.
And would you believe me if I told you that a volcano is responsible for the invention of the bicycle?
You are kidding.
I'm serious.
How?
Which shows you how powerful and amazing bicycles are. To ride more bicycles.
If they had bicycles in Pompeii, they wouldn't have died.
I probably would have died. But so what happened was, so there was an eruption of a huge volcano somewhere in Indonesia.
No, it's still erupting there.
Yeah, I mean, living on it and that was like in 1815 or so. And it was so bad that year, like the ash covered literally the world. And it's known as the year with no summer.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would love to know what that year was described as in African culture.
But to by all means be, what's it called?
Eternal nights.
Or the witches something.
The year Satan won.
Yes. Anyway, so that was so bad that there was no summer, there was no harvest, and there was like a worldwide famine. People had to kill their horses and all of that because they couldn't feed them.
And you might as well eat the horse.
You might as well eat it.
If you cannot feed the horse,
eat you.
Go.
You understood? So there was now a shortage of horses, and that is what triggered or inspired the inventor of the bicycle. It was called Carl something. I'm going to say something very racist, but a lot of Germans are called Carl with a K, as we'll discover soon. So he was a Carl something. Yeah. He was a German, and he invented a bicycle. It was like a thing you just push yourself along.
Okay, and it was called the something dandy. I think walking dandy or something.
Something like that.
Over to you. So something dandy, which is amazing. Like to think that, because today I was watching a video on someone who is trying to train his 2-year-old to be a dirt bike racer, and that's what he started on. Like, so he's pushing himself. Yeah, and that's how people used to move around. Yeah. But bicycles had a name. It was Velocis something.
Velociraptor.
I think Velocipede.
Okay.
Yeah, Velociraptor sounds like a dinosaur.
It sounds very, but when I said it, I realized that.
Velocipede. I was like, wow, that's a big word.
So when did we get to bicycle? That sounds so basic. It's like two cycles.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So we had the I think walking down, then we had the one called the penny farthing.
That's the big wheel.
Big wheel. It's once like it wasn't like someone's crazy invention. That's what people were actually going about on.
Yeah.
A small wheel and a big wheel, and they're just riding on top of the world.
Like, how do you even get there?
Yeah, but I mean, it would have been really fun because you know the way when you're sitting in a car, you look down on those walking. Like, oh, look at you.
This kazats.
And then I'll come by in my penny farthing. Hey, look at you down there.
Yeah, so but that's how bicycles started. Until now, we have different types of bicycles. We have dirt bikes, road bikes, mountain bikes,
motorbikes.
So
you know, so the bicycles invented I think around 1818.
Yes.
And then from there, so I think people are still working with engines. And you know the thing with technology when it comes like how can we make it smaller?
Yes.
So what's surprising that we went from steam engine to motorbike before we got to cars.
And the cars took a while to appear.
Yeah, I mean motorbikes were I think 1885, and cars were 1886, 85, 86. Like, how did you make a smaller one for the big one?
But, and the unsafe one.
Yeah, but cars. The first car was made by
Carl Benz.
Another Carl. Gottlieb Daimler.
Yes. Well, they didn't make it together.
Really?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought they did.
I mean, I stand to be corrected, but I know Carl Benz did it first.
Wow.
And it was not a good car. So the first car was made in 1885. He got the patent in 1886. But the first car had a horsepower of like 0.75 horsepower.
Imagine. We were faster walking.
Or I was sitting on the horse. So
which everybody had anyway.
And the first car was like a Pragia. Like it was 3 wheels.
I imagine.
Yeah. We didn't go fast.
Cool. So he did a
Pragia is also known as
tricycle
or a tricycle or auto.
Yellow.
Or yellow. Depending where you're coming from. So that's how the first car looked. It had 3 wheels. Then he made another model. Then had a 4th wheel. Okay. Which now was for a 4-wheel device. But it still wasn't popular because it wasn't really better than a horse. Then his wife came to save the day.
Oh, thank God for women.
Yeah, because so he married a woman called Bertha Benz, I think, or Bertha, who became Bertha Benz. And they really worked with him, but he sort of funded a lot of the things.
Wow.
Now,
marry a rich woman. It's one of the keys.
Not a rich, lazy one, like a rich, enterprising, hardworking woman. Okay. So one day, Bertha Benz decided to go for a drive. And she took the car and went on the first road trip. Because before then, cars were really just like short trips. And she drove over 100 kilometers with 2 of her sons.
Wow.
And as she went along, she realized that at the time, the car had only 2 gears.
Okay.
So that the car needed a 3rd gear because they couldn't really climb. So she's credited with the idea of the 3rd. She got to, and they had such small fuel capacity. They had to fuel all the time. And in those days, the only people who were allowed to sell gasoline or petrol were chemists. So she went to the first filling station was actually a pharmacy. She had to stop there.
Pharmacies have had a history of selling non-medicines.
I think pharmacists have been used to selling drugs for a while.
We selling things which are not medicines for a while. Because this is a pharmacy, you are more likely to get bread. What you are looking for?
Every pharmacy has a fridge with drinks.
Fridge.
Yeah, so she bought petrol from there. As she was going along, the bricks were made of wood at the time. And they began because she went on an extended trip.
Yeah.
The brakes began to fall apart. She went to some mechanic and she had the idea of brake pads and brake liners.
Wow.
Yeah. And they used some leather something to make it
beautiful.
And when she came back, the publicity that 100 kilometer drive created is what led to the boom.
It's like the guys who drove from Ghana to
London.
yeah.
Or to London.
Oh,
Wherever
yeah.
they drove. Yeah. I mean, so she's the one. Like, she really brought attraction.
First PR stand to the car.
Serious. I mean,
No.
and you know, she drove without her husband's permission, without regulatory approval.
And 2 sons.
And her 2 sons.
You can go to court for
they're
that.
teenagers.
No.
Yeah.
Kidnapping.
But, I mean, I feel like she deserves more
Yeah,
credit than
more
she
credit.
gets.
Yeah. And
because-
maybe even her husband.
I disagree, though. I think they should share it
Okay.
50-50. Because he invented it. At the
Gender balance.
yeah, 50-50.
50-50.
Then you talk about Daimler. Daimler was more of an engine guy initially. So he worked with Maybach. And these are all very still familiar names. These are the amazing Maybach. Yes, and they're all German names. And they worked more on the engine before they invented their cars.
Wow.
But the cars were still like a rich man's thing until a famous guy stepped into the picture.
1906.
1906.
Who do we
What's
have?
the brother's name?
Henry Ford.
Henry Ford.
Henry Ford.
Henry Ford, the father
God
of
bless
the
you,
Ford.
sir. God bless you, sir.
Because he came along with the assembly line.
He made cars he could afford.
Yes. He made cars they could afford. We could have afforded Benz.
I mean, okay, yeah.
There would have been no problem. If I was born then, there'd have been no
There's-
problem.
Yeah.
I would have had a Benz and a Daimler and a
And
Maybach
a host.
and a horse. Because after all, in case there's no petrol. Yeah, but Henry Ford made the car the people's thing. Yeah, because he had an assembly line, and so cars became cheaper.
And they're still producing cars in assembly lines today.
Yeah.
And you know, human beings, we are really not as creative as I thought.
No, we are not. Like, I mean, the more I read and things, I was we look at at how we got here, that we don't change much.
That's serious.
The same, which is good and bad.
Okay.
Yeah, because also if there's a winning formula, really we shouldn't change it. Yeah. And so Henry Ford, but the problem with his cars was that there was no customization.
Oh.
You know, he's famous. He's quoted as saying that you could have your car in any color as long as it is black. So the only cars were black Fords. Yeah. And so that's how cars and evolved from 1900s, blah blah blah, and to the things we have these days, like that.
Our Benz also made the first bus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, before we didn't even talk about, I remember when we talk about animals, talk about like we used to have horse-drawn like buses. Yeah. Yeah. And in fact,
pity the horse.
oh, you know, the truth is that a history of road transportation is actually a history of roads. Because after the Roman roads were built and we went down for thousands, we had no roads. In parts of Europe, people started traveling more again, and they had to create roads, and the government was not interested in creating, because why create a road where you can ride a horse?
Mm-hmm.
So people wanted more comfortable ways of movement. So people started creating private roads.
Okay.
So like, let's say I will create this stretch of road from, let's say, Dasuman to Malam Junction, and it's mine.
Can I charge?
Yes, and they used to charge people, and the government used to allow them to pay. But then, as you know, things just peel apart quickly.
Human beings do what human beings do.
Yes, toll collectors started stealing the toll money, which is still a problem. And then now it was so difficult to get a license to do the road because there was corruption and things. And then the tolls themselves were extortionate. So I mean, the system just fell
So
apart.
they
And I think
needed
that's
more
why,
regulation.
yeah, that's why now roads are there.
I have a
Yeah, for
question
the
for you.
government. Okay.
When do you think the first asphalted road was asphalted? Or when the first road was asphalted?
I do not know.
Yes, you have 2 guesses. Think about when the car was invented,
Okay.
and then that's around that time,
In the 1900s.
early 1900s. Yes, so like 1902.
That long ago.
Yes, and I find it very problematic because
Because
still
it's
today,
The road to my house.
the road to my house too is not hard, and I feel like people in Ghana who live in houses that is where it is tagged to your gate, you don't understand how that
No.
because it's a rare thing.
You don't understand how much less that you have in your house.
Like if you have, let's say, tag from your house and to your office, all through,
Yeah.
and this is 200
It changes your life dramatically. It even changes the longevity of your shoes
in your car.
and your car and your life. I think you will live longer.
But imagine the first road was asphalted in 1902.
You put asphalt on
On
the
a road. In 2025,
The road
the road to my house. But it's okay. God knows
will take
best. God knows best. But yeah, so, but this is so, I mean, when cars became more and more prominent, roads had to become wider. They had to also de-pedestrianize roads because people used to just walk on roads. Then
People still
they'll still just walk on roads. And then we needed to have more legislation around cars because cars were killing people. Yeah, and that's what even hindered the development of
cars for a
cars for
while.
a while. Yeah, because we were like, well, horse carriages were also killing people, but
Not as much. Not
yeah,
at this
it's
rate.
safer. Yeah. I mean, the cars
And
evolved.
when a horse kills a person, you can kill the horse.
That's actually a very good point.
They used to kill the horses.
Can't kill the car.
Yeah,
Very good crashes, I suppose.
Yeah, but it's so expensive.
No, but that would really help.
It
If we
actually
had
would.
a law like that, where if a car hits a person, we crash the car. That's all. With or without the owner inside. I don't know about that yet. I said with or without. But at least the car itself.
We'll workshop it.
But at least the car should we go.
That's crazy. Oh.
Yeah. But then that's when all this legislation came about to increase the safety of cars because cars were really unsafe. Even headlamps were not a thing. Yes. Hey. Now, I have another interesting thing for you. Do you see cars have highlights and low lights? Okay. Now, this thing pains my soul so much because I hate driving in the night because of that. Now, there's this guy called, the camera guy, the one who did Polaroid cameras.
Kodak.
No, Edwin Land. Yes.
Okay.
So he invented the Polaroid camera because he used to work with polarized lights and different kinds of glass. And he realized after headlights were eventually invented, they had a problem of glare at night. And Edwin Land realized that he could use polarized glass for the windscreen. And the polarized glass would filter out the excess rays so that the glare from the highlights will not affect the driver.
Wow.
So he pitched the idea to the heads of car companies at the time. This was around 1950. I'm not too sure the exact date. And the heads of car companies had a meeting. And among themselves, they decided that it would be too complicated to introduce his idea because it will require changing all the
assembly lines.
No, not just that, and the cars that are already on the road.
Okay.
Then somebody had a brilliant idea of highlight and low light. And up to today, we are still flashing each other, still blinding each other, polarized light. And somebody should have just taken the quality decision in that day to say from the 27th of July, 1930, whatever, we are all switching to this thing.
Because it's bad.
And then Edwin Land made a famous quote. He said he has interacted with the CEOs of these companies individually, and they are all bright. However, intelligent men in a company become idiots. And I was like, well, it makes a fair point. I mean, if the fact checker can find the code better, but that's a very fair point. So all these things,
it might explain a lot of things.
But yeah, so these were little introductions
that were made
to make cars safer. Headlights, traffic indicators, car laws, driving on the left seat belts.
Now, what amazing to find that seat belts are not that old.
They're not. Like less than 50 years. Yeah. And there was a huge uproar when they were introduced.
It's still going on.
It's like my seatbelt.
It's still going on. Before you ride up.
I don't want it. Yeah, so, and then what else happened to cars to make them safer? Let me think.
Brakes. Yeah, generally, brakes have been a very good idea from the get-go.
Thanks to
Mrs. Benz.
Yes. Shout out to all the women drivers who brake frequently.
And make us reduce our speed because we are behind you, but thank you.
They are living in their legacy.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think that was how we got here. Now, I want us to talk a bit about how, we've done it.
But you mentioned something about roundabouts.
Yes.
Yeah. Roundabouts were popularized by a man called Frank Blackmore in UK.
In the UK, where they have trillion roundabouts.
Yeah, it's crazy. And he is the one who enforced that the person who is inside has right of way.
And you'd be surprised to know the modern roundabout is not very old. It was introduced in like 1966.
Wow.
It's very, very recent things.
Actually, I don't feel so old so young in the world. I feel like I've seen it all
happen in your lifetime because we're born in 67.
Just 1960, they bore roundabouts. I mean,
yeah. And roundabouts really help with the flow of traffic at
intersections. Really do.
But it's still a national thing. So they don't have many roundabouts in the US, for example. And they have a lot of roundabouts in the UK. I don't know about Ghana. I think we also have a lot of roundabouts in Ghana.
Yeah, and we were colonized by the British.
Yeah.
We went all our school there.
British.
British.
And Wales.
I think anywhere Australia they have a lot of roundabouts.
Yeah. So, but it's also a new invention. Anyway, I was saying, let's talk about the effect that this transportation changes have had on society.
Well, massive. I
So,
would like to start talking about people going out and talk about the Michelin star rating.
okay.
So there's a tire company called Michelin. I'm sure you've heard of them. Yeah, they make very good tires. And it was started by two brothers. And when he started making tires, they wanted people to drive more. You see. And so they created a guidebook where they used to distribute free, contain information on how to change your car tire, how to solve the basic engine problems, which is something I think they should start doing again.
It will really help.
It will really help. And then they used to include a map of like maybe they were in France, so like Paris, places you can visit. You can visit in this park, this restaurant,
with your
this
car,
restaurant, with your car, you can go there. So encourage people to explore more with their cars. So they started making the guide in 1900. Then one day, one of the brothers walked into a workshop and sees a mechanic has used the guides to chuck a car. And he said people do not respect what they don't pay for. So they started selling the guides. Now what they did was that he started encouraging people to review the places they visit with their cars. And so people started rating food restaurants. And they now Michelin started sending people anonymously to visit restaurants and to go and just tell them how the experience was. And now you never know where your idea will take you, because when the Second World War started, the Americans requested, because France was occupied by Germany.
Yeah.
The Americans asked Michelin for permission to reprint the guidebook for all their soldiers who were going to France, because the guidebook had up-to-date maps of France, as well as detailed location of everything. That was like, we are going, how can we help you guys? We don't have Google Maps, but we can give you the Michelin guide.
That's serious.
That's serious. And they used it when they were invading.
So they really helped the world.
Yeah, they really helped the world by making tires and encouraging people to eat. If you travel for food, it's an important thing.
It helps.
Yeah, it helps.
I used to travel to buy wachi.
I travel to eat food.
Yeah, I go to Tema. I used to. It's a long story. Yeah, but talking about Michelin reminds me about also the history of the tire.
Okay.
Yeah. A funny story I'll tell you later.
All right. Will you tell them or you just tell me?
Because how I feel.
Let's go.
So we're talking about Michelin. He was one of the inventors of the tire. But the rubber tire began with Goodyear, which is another familiar name.
Yeah. Still making tires.
Interesting how the names have persisted. But this was like in 1845, I think.
It's a good business to go to tires.
He discovered how to vulcanize rubber.
Oh,
again, hence the term vulcanizer.
Oh, what does vulcanize mean? If you can help some of us.
Leave your brother out of this. But I know that it's basically a process that makes rubber more malleable and it's stronger in a way. I mean, basically makes rubber from the tree what rubber is, you know.
And the word vulcanizer is what we call organizer. It's got. Yeah.
And the organizer, who fixes your tire.
Very important people. You know, I know in Kumasi, in Accra, I know where the 24-hour organizers are. Because there's one at Odoko. Yeah. Just before the engine oil, Kenton Corner. He's there, he sleeps there. If you ever have a problem, if you can get to Kenton Corner, he will solve it for you.
He's still working in the grace of Goodyear from
Goodyear.
1845. So Goodyear invented that, and then Dunlop.
Okay.
Another familiar name.
Oh yeah.
Invented the pneumatic tire for bicycles. That is like the tire with air inside.
Okay, wow.
And then I think it was Michelin who introduced the pneumatic tire to cars.
Oh,
yeah. And now we have wheels with a tire around it. And apparently, I'm sure it sounds too ridiculous to be true to me, but apparently,
the more ridiculous is the more likely it is.
The word tire comes from a tire because they believe that the tire is like the clothes around the wheel.
Wow.
So it sounds a bit too stupid to me, but it might be that.
But it might be true because tires used to be white.
So they were the attire of the wheel. Yeah, the tire is around the wheel.
White.
Yeah. So this is all things. But anyway, I was asking you the effect of land transportation. Oh, I think I will start if you don't mind. I think that it has expanded the world for us
massively.
Yeah, and massively. Now people can travel and interact with people they would never have met at all. Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, it means that you are never likely to go anywhere beyond the 20-kilometer radius of your home.
Yeah.
Without a means of moving. And even if you walk, it will take you days. So, and like, how far can you walk?
Yeah, I think it explains why human beings are in and tribal by nature.
Yeah, because you have to walk.
Because because so people like you just stay in your little clan and that's your whole life. But now cars and other transportation have opened the world up, and we are
And
put
it
inside
also made
people.
movement of goods a lot more simpler.
Yeah.
Because the seas are unreliable. I mean, up to now, people are dying in the sea. Shipwrecks. I mean, they die on the road, but like it's almost like, okay, why would you send it to the port and put it on the boats, which will now come when you can just drive it?
I think the road feels safer.
And
But it is not, because more people die in cars than on planes and ships. But we all feel safer with that.
So this is where we're born. Is this our the medium we
We
are
are terrestrial.
comfortable in?
We are terrestrial beings, yeah. So that's another impact. Also trade, because we're able to buy and sell from each other.
Yeah.
So I feel like basically land transport has had a huge impact on
The whole
society. Yeah. And opened the world to us. That allows us to drive, to have
road trips.
And then I was gonna say like go to restaurants like Michelin.
Yeah, Michelin. Yeah, you just go
because before if you had
rating.
to walk, you might not go.
Crazy.
And then maybe my last question for you is, where do you think we are going?
No, but we didn't talk about like where we are now.
Okay, where are we? Sorry.
Yeah, now we are at EVs. Everyone wants an EV. Don't you want an EV?
Now, yes, it would be cool.
And
for that.
yeah,
and maybe I'll buy petrol.
Yeah, and I like if you have like 100 cities, you can drive like 2-3 days or maybe like a week. I mean, depending on the model. But like there are a lot of arguments against electric vehicles. People say that now even the lithium extraction process or the natural is damaging the environment more than. But in these days, you don't know who is paying the newspapers, so you can't. And then there's all the conspiracy theories about big oil and how they stifle every invention that carry through from buying fuel. Because 2 days ago, I saw something on Instagram about an engine that uses jet springs. Like as soon as it starts, the springs keep going and we're like, why am I not using this? But then,
do you mean to see like a perpetual motion machine?
Yes, perpetual motion.
It does not exist.
Not perpetual, but like it works well. I did general arts, so I saw the video. Let me get out from the car.
They have edited the video for you.
Oh no, but it looked good. And then they said there was a guy who made an engine out of water, and then he disappeared. I mean,
but how? Like when you say out of water, isn't that a steam engine?
Charlie, I didn't read it so deep.
I mean, next time I read it,
grab the headlines
because I feel like that's old news. Like water has been used to power things.
Yeah, but then we put it inside the car, then we can move.
I think it will take a long time for us to move totally to electric vehicles. Like you're right, there's too much has been invested in the oil industry, but I don't believe the conspiracy theories. I think it's more a problem of infrastructure, because EVs do not have a certain range. Yes, it's getting better. I've seen some that do up to 400 kilometers, and that's lovely. But that's not the majority. And in a place like Ghana, there are very few charging ports.
Man, the Chinese ones can put it in the socket
in your house.
Yeah, it's a very good thing.
But also remember that we've not successfully powered our own houses.
It's serious.
Yes, so it takes a while.
It's serious.
I think that we will all move there eventually, but it will be a slow transition. It's getting there. They're getting better, getting longer. Hybrids are coming. You see hybrids all around. We see the EVs all around. We'll get there. We've also made our cars more comfortable.
I'm telling you.
Like one of the things I don't get is music players and cars.
So why not?
I don't think it's a good idea, because you should concentrate on what you are doing.
We live for distractions.
I think that's a problem. I think cars have, and